Hi, this is Lucy and welcome to another episode of Nora's Kitchen. Today in Nora's Kitchen we're going to be making Tasty Squirrel Stew. It has to be tasty, it says so in the recipe. Tasty Squirrel Stew is a great buff for getting extra XP. It gives you an extra 10% XP, which is great if you're trying to level up. If, like me, you have the serum mutation carnivore, it will actually give you an extra 20% XP. And although I didn't mention it in my previous episode, if you have the serum mutation herbivore, cranberry relish will apparently also give you 20% XP. Recipes are fairly easy to find in the game.
Keep doing it. You'll make it through.
You can find them in kitchens around the world, and you can be awarded them for some events. If you can't find the recipe that you're looking for, check out Antoine, who is one of the vendors at the White Springs, because he sells recipes. Right, let's have a look and see what we need to make Tasty Squirrel Stew. As you can see, I have quite a lot of recipes. Right, we need boiled water, salt, squirrel bits and tatos, plus wood to cook it with. I'm not quite sure how I feel about killing cute, fluffy little squirrels, but I guess if we have to, we have to. I'm reliably informed that the best place to get squirrels is at the White Springs. Which is here on our map. And we've arrived. This is the White Springs service entrance, which is here on the map. If you don't have this as a location, you can run down from the White Springs station and there's an exit off the road. Watch out for enemies, and if you are using an explosive weapon, be careful if you shoot enemies near robots, because if the robots here become hostile, all of the robots can become hostile and they can remember that you are a problem for a number of hours. And inside there are a number of turrets, even in cupboards and bathrooms if you try to hide. I'm going to change weapons and put something a little bit more low key on. I'm not sure what would happen if I shot a squirrel with an explosive handmade. Don't forget that if you're searching for meat, to put on the card Butcher's Bounty. I believe there is a squirrel somewhere in this region. Squirrel! Oh my. What is that? That does not look like... Oh my god. I'm sure it will be fine. I'm sure it's very tasty. Oh my god, it's hideous. No Butcher's Bounty for me today, apparently. If you want to collect the intestines, you can, to make fashionette sausages. The recipe drops during the fashionette event, and sometimes you can play it and find it in player vendors if you weren't able to do the event. The next squirrel location, you double back to the White Springs service entrance and go through the car park here, watching out for mole rats. And in this region here, there should be Squirrels. Aha. There are usually 2 squirrels here. And I got 2 intestines. Okay. If you don't have the service area on your map, you can actually use this little cut through here from the back entrance to White Springs. It looks like there's a cargo bot about. I don't want to upset the robots. Be aware, obviously, if you are familiar with White Springs, be aware that there are some high-level ghouls here and they hunt in packs. So, even if you survive, you will probably get a hideous disease. If we drop down here, this is the second entrance. Not the main entrance that the spawn point takes you to. There's a little bin store here before you get to the car park. And there is one squirrel in here. There is one other squirrel to get behind the cottages. It is difficult to avoid the ghouls, but if you're sneaky, you can do it. We'll leave those guys to fight it out. Sounds like a Soltron for the win there. This first row of cottages. Watch out for the rad stags here. For some reason they always attack me. But it's extra meat for the pot. If you can find the bodies. I try to keep as far away from the cottages as possible. And along here you should hopefully find a squirrel. So we have a few squirrels. I'll take that. I might need it, says the caution sign. I'm going to try and sneak back. Obviously, if you're happy to take on the ghouls here, that's fine. But if not, you can do it without too much trouble if you're lucky. I'm now going to head back to the kitchen.
Hold my finger, kid. Wait! Too late.
Is that why we don't have any customers? I've asked you not to do this. Have you been asking customers to pull your finger again? Honestly, what is wrong with you? And you really need to have a clean up. I mean, look at the state of you. Oh well, maybe one of the settlers would like a job here. The next ingredient on our list is tatos. And for low level and high level players alike, the easiest place to get tatos is actually Flatwoods.
Never give up. Just keep doing it. You'll make it.
There are other places you can get tatos. At Granger Farm in the Toxic Valley, there are a number of tatos there. And also, if you're feeling a little more adventurous, There are tatos at the steakhouse in the cranberry bog. There are usually enemies in the garden as well as super mutants in the steakhouse, and also there has been the addition of a few floaters in the gardens in the outside of the steakhouse since Wastelanders dropped. But it's up to you. I find it easier to come to Flatwoods. Obviously tatos are something that you can grow in your garden, so after you've picked a few, if you have the build budget, feel free to plant a few in your garden.
Chloe looks
Hello,
after
Chloe.
me. She's the
Who's a
best
good
guardian
doggy?
a girl could have.
If you come down to the bottom of Flatwoods here, where the Brahmin are, you will find behind Dilbert's trailer there is a planter with tatos in. Don't forget to put green thumb on, and every tato you pick will be 2. The other ingredient we need to find in the world is salt. And salt is everywhere, except when you look for it, it seems. So I always pick salt up when I see it. You can find it here, where Dilbert gave cooking lessons. Usually, although there's pepper today. There is some salt there. Hello, little opossum. I like your little faces. Would you like to come live with me? So have a look in kitchens around the world, in bars, restaurants. You'll usually find there is salt about. Unfortunately, there's 2 pepper here today. Sometimes there's usually salt. There are apparently 10 at the White Springs Golf Club. I've found 7, I think is the most I've ever found there, but obviously the ghouls get quite feisty and they don't like you taking their salt apparently. Ooh, there is a Nuka-Cola Quantum. Quite often there's a Nuka-Cola here on this pool table. A recipe I haven't read. I would love to be able to tell you where to get the recipes for the things that I make, but recipes are random spawns. You quite often find them in kitchens around the world, so just keep looking. And also, a lot of player vendors sell their spare recipes, so it's a good source for getting different recipes early on in the game. We're back in the kitchen and it's getting dark now. I showed you last time the best way to collect water, which was to collect it directly from a river or pond, a dirty water source, to make boiled water. Pumps and wells are incredibly slow and frustrating. I already have a stock of salt, but my favourite places to get salt are Flatwoods, the kitchen on this road in Somersville, the steakhouse, Helvetia. There's a few in the kitchens in Helvetia, and sometimes in Morgantown there is salt at the Portside pub. It's just a matter of keeping your eyes open while you're out and about, and before long you will have picked up enough salt to make this recipe with some to spare. Don't forget to put the card Super Duper on. It's under luck. You have a chance of duplicating whatever you cook or craft. I will push in the left stick and it will show me everything I have available to make. I can currently make 6 by the looks of it, because I only got 7 squirrel bits. I do grow tatos in the garden, so if I'd been short of tatos I could have gone out and got some more. And Super Duper has fired. So there we have it. Tasty Squirrel Stew. If you are a low level player and White Springs is a bit too difficult for you, there is another alternative for finding squirrels. Squirrels are one of the animals that spawn at random animal spawn points, and there are quite a few in the forest. I have frequently built in this area down here below Magnolia Pavilion and just beyond Alpine River Cabins. In this meadowy area with the lane, there is a random animal spawn there, and you can either place your camp, or if you're a Fallout First player, place your tent and then just server hop until the random animal spawn is squirrels. There is also another random animal spawn in this area across the river from the Wayward, and all over the map. There is a pond here just next to Gilman Lumber. There's also a random animal spawn next to the pond. Another favourite place is Twin Lakes in the Savage Divide. So put your tent down or move your camp and server hop if you want squirrels. If you're not in a hurry, then just keep checking these areas every time you play, and before long you will find squirrels. So here we have our Tasty Squirrel Stew. As you can see, I actually get a bonus XP of 20% because I have the mutation carnivore. What this means is that I only take benefit from food that includes meat. If you have herbivore, you will find that you actually get 20% XP off cranberry relish. If not, it still gives you an additional 10% bonus XP, and if you stack that with Well Rested or Kindred Spirit, if you have a companion in your camp, it will boost your XP significantly. So here we have our Tasty Squirrel Stew. Unfortunately, the display cabinet would not let me put Tasty Squirrel Stew on it, so that is in fact spoiled vegetables, but I can assure you that it looks just the same. I'm just hoping that it tastes better. That's all from me today. Thank you for watching.